Hi, it's me again with Corel Tips and Tricks, part two of this. Just a little while ago, I made this, but I started thinking you're limited to squares or elongated squares. Well, why not give yourself a little bit more? And I just did half this, what you could do. But in just a few seconds, I came up with that design or this design. Not as, it's, I'm not going to say they're cool, but just going to give you another option. So what we're going to do, trying to grab this, and move it out of the way. And let's go ahead and nudge this back to the center. And let's go ahead and get our envelope area. And then we're going to get the graph paper tool back out. I'm going to get rid of some of my laptop gets getting old, and it's takes up a lot of memory to graph paper. So we're going to make it 12 by 12, but then turn that on a 45-degree angle. Now, we don't know the measurement. We could have figured out the measurement by making a particular size. But it's easy enough just to take a 2-point line and make sure it's long enough to fit on both edges, and then go put it right there. And then just take your parallel dimension tool, but you got to be a good accurate. So make sure it's on the node. So 242. So we'll set our nudge factor on 2.42. And then we'll take that line and move it over, and then Control D. Well, you know what? I could actually have them every other one too. So right now I'm just doing every other one, and we could do both of them. So now let's cut that in half, which would be, well, if you can't, like I can do the math, but if you can't do the math, do it divided by 2 and you get 1.21, and then move that in, and then Control D, and you're going to have to hit it twice, and then Control D. So we're putting lines between that. Now here's a good little bit of information. Move this out of the way. I should have set my nudge factor. And take this and group it. Go up to Object and Group, because we don't want all those extra lines. And then put this back and just make sure it's back where it was. And then grab both of them. I'm hoping I'm not getting any part of this. Let me move these out of the way. See how long it takes my laptop to react. So then to take both of these, now I don't know which one's on front, but I'm going to go back minus front. And it's exactly what I wanted. I didn't want those other lines. Now I'm going to rotate it back to 0. And I can move this a little smaller. You just wanted to be able to cover that up. And then left click your envelope form. Grab your what you want in there, and then go to Effects and Envelope and place inside Form. And look at that. Now, because I nudged, I can nudge this right back. Well, you know what? No, I take it back. This is the one. So I'm going to shift select to go EC to put it in there, and then nudge it over. Well, I changed my nudge factor, if you remember that. I'm pretty sure I can get it close enough. I'm going to try to get that box out of there. And I can just grab that node right there. And I did the same thing. It clicked right in. It snapped to. Now I can get rid of all this, and here's a good trick. Hold down your Alt key and swipe through there, and you've grabbed everything it touched. Doesn't have to touch it all. And then just kind of use your imagination, and just like in the earlier video, you have to start and stop, well, if you want it to connect on the same space. But see, this is going to give you more leeway. You could do stuff like that, or do like that, and then have really weird shapes in there, and you could go both directions with the crosses, and then I kind of figured out. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the starting and the stopping point of our line. So that line's going to connect with that line. And then I saw these arches, and you don't want to go to the edge because it won't link back up on the other side. But if you go, down here, as long as you don't go to that edge or that edge, and and this would be a good, well, I'm going to still weld it. So I'm making a curve, which I couldn't have done without the blocks, but I just don't want to go past there and do this, just do the same thing. So it's giving you a lot more freedom to draw something. This might look pretty cool. You never really know till you do it. And we could start here. Now this time we're going to go to the wall, which we don't want to. So we could stop right there and actually, I don't know how far you want to go with this. I go too far sometimes with the videos. And you could have some of them like that. And let's just call that good. Now I can move the graph paper out of the way, and I don't even have to weld that. I'm gonna go ahead and weld it. But then well, let's do that. Left click, right click. So you'll see I did the same thing with 20 point or 10.5 degrees. So alternate C, have it rotate, but I'm going to rotate it 20 degrees and see we're overlapping, so it will weld, and then just go all the way. This might look pretty cool. I didn't move my graph paper out far enough. And then weld that, at least you don't have to smart fill it. That's going to look pretty cool. When it's an object like that that's been welded, you can just grab it and make it blue. Or let's make it red. Take away the outline. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. And let's get the interactive fill tool again. I love red and yellow on a black background. So think about next time there's people probably watching the video go, I'm never going to draw that. Well, there might be a case where you want hearts or something. That's a pretty unique little drawing. Anyway, just an idea, playing around. Hope that helped. Thank you for watching.